the Panama Canal are actually causing a traffic jam in one of the largest trading routes in the world right now.
The Panama Canal, the vital waterway connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, has come to a halt. With a $4 billion rival now stepping into the spotlight, how will this impact global shipping routes? What could these changes mean for the future of international trade? Join us as we uncover how the U.S. has just shut down the Panama Canal and billions of dollars rival taking over. The Panama Canal, a vital global trade route. The Panama Canal is a crucial passage for global trade, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Stretching about 80 kilometers, it allows ships to avoid the long and dangerous route around the southern tip of South America. Before its construction, ships had to navigate treacherous waters through the Drake Passage or the Strait of Magellan, both known for dangerous currents and unpredictable winds. These challenges made the journey not only time-consuming but also highly risky. Completed in 1914, the canal is a marvel of engineering and has become one of the most important trade routes in the world. Each year, it handles around 14,000 ships, accounting for 6% of global maritime traffic. However, the canal is now facing significant issues. Increasing congestion, technical problems, and environmental factors are slowing down the passage of ships, causing delays and disruptions to global trade. The idea of a canal across Panama began with Spanish explorers who sought a safer route for ships traveling between the two oceans. Over time, the concept gained momentum, especially when Panama, then part of Colombia, was chosen as the ideal location due to the United States building a railroad along the proposed canal route in the 1800s. This railroad was essential in supporting the canal's construction, as it ran closely along the future canal's path. The Panama Canal revolutionized global shipping by drastically reducing travel time for ships and facilitating faster trade between nations. Today, it remains a key part of the international shipping network, despite the challenges it now faces. Early attempts and engineering challenges. The Panama Canal's construction was a monumental challenge that spanned decades. In 1881, French engineer Ferdinand de Lesseps, fresh from his success with the Suez Canal, began the project. His team planned a sea-level canal, ignoring the vastly different terrain of Panama compared to Egypt. Engineer Adolphe Gaudin de Lepinay proposed an alternative design using artificial lakes and a lock system, but his idea was dismissed. This decision proved costly. The French team faced dense jungles, heavy rainfall, and disease-ridden swamps, conditions they were ill-prepared for. Equipment designed for Egypt's dry climate failed in Panama's muddy terrain. Constant landslides undid much of their progress. Malaria and yellow fever claimed thousands of lives. By 1894, after spending $287 million, equivalent to about $8 billion today, and losing an estimated 22,000 workers, the French effort collapsed. The Americans adopted a lock-based design similar to de Lepinay's original proposal. They created Gatun Lake by damming the Chagres River, providing water for the locks and controlling floods. This decision was crucial to the canal's eventual success. Construction remained challenging. Workers used dynamite and steam shovels to excavate millions of cubic yards of earth and rock. The Culebra Cut, through the Continental Divide, was particularly problematic due to frequent landslides. At peak construction, over 40,000 workers were employed. Most laborers came from the West Indies, facing harsh conditions and racial segregation. Despite these challenges, the project advanced. The Americans excavated 73 million cubic meters of material, used 3.4 million cubic meters of concrete, and installed 40,000 tons of lock gates. They also constructed the world's largest earth dam at the time at Gatun. After a decade of American effort and a total cost of $375 million, the Panama Canal opened on August 15, 1914. This engineering feat reduced the sea journey from New York to San Francisco by 8,000 miles, revolutionizing global maritime trade, disease, financial troubles, and American takeover. The Panama Canal project faced two major enemies: disease and money problems. These challenges nearly derailed the entire endeavor. Disease was a relentless foe. Malaria and yellow fever ran rampant among the workers. These illnesses, spread by mosquitoes, were poorly understood at the time. Workers fell ill by the thousands, and many died. The French effort lost an estimated 22,000 lives to disease alone. When the Americans took over in 1904, they made fighting disease a top priority. Dr. William Gorgas, who had successfully battled yellow fever in Havana, Cuba, led the charge. His team drained swamps, sprayed oil on standing water, and screened buildings to keep mosquitoes out. They also improved sanitation and built modern hospitals. These efforts paid off. By 1906, yellow fever was eliminated from the canal zone, and malaria cases dropped dramatically. This health victory was crucial for the project's success and represented a significant advance in tropical medicine. On the financial front, the canal was a money pit. The French company, led by Ferdinand de Lesseps, spent lavishly. They used public funds raised through a massive marketing campaign, promising quick profits. But as challenges mounted and progress slowed, investors lost confidence. The company tried to save money by switching from a sea-level canal to a lock-based design. However, this change came too late. By 1889, after spending the equivalent of billions in today's dollars, the company went bankrupt. A second French attempt in 1894 also failed due to lack of funds. When the United States took over, they approached the project differently. The United States government funded the canal directly, investing $375 million. This steady funding, combined with better planning and disease control, allowed the project to move forward. The Americans also faced financial challenges. The project's cost ballooned from initial estimates, and there were accusations of mismanagement and waste. However, the strategic importance of the canal to the United States meant that funding continued despite these issues. To make the canal financially viable, the United States implemented a toll system. Ships paid based on their size and cargo. This system, still in use today, has made the canal a significant source of revenue for Panama. The American effort also brought economic benefits to the canal zone. They built infrastructure, created jobs, and established a well-paid workforce. This economic boost helped sustain the project through its challenging years. Overcoming disease and financial hurdles was as much a part of building the Panama Canal as digging the channel itself. These victories in public health and project management were crucial steps in completing one of the world's greatest engineering feats. The Chagres River and Lock System. The Panama Canal's construction faced a formidable opponent, nature itself. The Chagres River, flowing from Panama's northern mountains to the Atlantic, posed a significant challenge. This river's unpredictable behavior threatened to flood the canal, potentially washing away years of hard work. In 1906, Chief Engineer John Frank Stevens proposed a bold solution: create an artificial lake to control the river. President Theodore Roosevelt backed this plan, leading to the creation of Gatun Lake, then the world's largest man-made lake. Building the Gatun Dam was a massive undertaking. Workers piled earth and rock to create a barrier 1.5 miles long and 400 feet wide at its base. This dam not only tamed the Chagres River, but also became an integral part of the canal system. Gatun Lake serves multiple purposes. It provides water for the canal's lock operations, acts as part of the navigation channel, and controls flooding. The lake's creation solved the water management problem and shortened the amount of excavation needed for the canal. The lock system was another engineering marvel. 3 sets of locks, Gatun on the Atlantic side, and Pedro Miguel and Miraflores on the Pacific side, lift ships 85 feet above sea level. Each lock chamber is 110 feet wide and 1,000 feet long, large enough for the biggest ships of the time. Building these locks required precise engineering. Workers poured millions of cubic yards of concrete, creating structures that have stood for over a century. The gates controlling water flow in the locks are engineering feats themselves, some weighing over 700 tons each. Perhaps the most challenging part of construction was the Culebra Cut, later renamed Galliard Cut. This 8-mile stretch required cutting through the Continental Divide, the mountain range spanning North and South America. Workers removed nearly 100 million cubic yards of rock and earth from this section alone. The cut faced constant landslides. As workers dug deeper, the steep slopes became unstable. Sometimes, overnight landslides would undo weeks of progress. Engineers had to devise new techniques to stabilize the slopes, including reducing their angle and using dynamite to pre-shatter rock faces. Throughout construction, innovation was key. Engineers developed new equipment like pneumatic drills and electric shovels to speed up work. They also pioneered new techniques in excavation, concrete mixing, and soil stabilization that would influence future large-scale projects worldwide. The canal's completion in 1914 marked a triumph over nature's challenges. It demonstrated human ingenuity in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Today, the Panama Canal stands as a testament to early 20th century engineering prowess, continuing to play a crucial role in global maritime trade. Canal operations and water dependency. The Panama Canal is a marvel of engineering, designed to move ships between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans through a series of locks. As ships pass through the canal, they encounter 3 locks that work by transferring water between chambers. The process lifts the ship gradually until it reaches 85 feet above sea level, crossing Gatun Lake in the middle. At the lake's far side, the locks lower the ship back to sea level, allowing it to continue its journey. What makes the canal especially impressive is its reliance on water. Each ship passing through consumes about 52 million gallons of fresh water. This water comes from Gatun Lake, the primary reservoir, and Lake Alajuela. The water is replenished by rainfall, which usually keeps the system running smoothly. However, in times of drought, when rainfall is low, the canal faces significant challenges. Lower water levels can slow or even halt operations, highlighting how dependent the canal is on consistent water supply. Beyond its physical structure, the Panama Canal is crucial to global trade. It significantly shortens the shipping route between the 2 oceans, saving both time and money for international commerce. The canal's traffic also reflects the state of the world economy. When global trade is booming, the canal sees more ships passing through. In times of recession or economic downturn, such as during financial crises, traffic decreases. This fluctuation makes the canal an important indicator of global economic health, as changes in the number of ships passing through it can signal shifts in economic conditions. The Panama Canal's water dependency and role in global trade make it both a technological wonder and a vital link in international commerce. Its operation continues to shape and be shaped by the environment and the economy. Changing ownership and strategic importance. The Panama Canal, built by the United States and completed in 1914, was under United States control for most of the 20th century. From 1914 to 1979, it played a critical role in global military and economic operations. For example, during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, United States warships used the canal to move quickly between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. It was also essential during the Korean and Vietnam Wars, helping the United States transport military supplies more efficiently. However, control of the canal changed hands on January 1, 2000, when Panama took full ownership. This transfer marked a significant moment in the canal's history, allowing Panama to manage one of the world's most important trade routes. The canal continues to play a vital role in international trade, serving as a key passageway for ships moving between the two oceans. Its strategic location makes it crucial for global shipping, significantly reducing travel time for vessels. The canal's economic impact on Panama has been profound. It has driven improvements in infrastructure and technology, making operations more efficient. In 2016, a major expansion project was completed, adding a new set of locks. This expansion allowed the canal to accommodate larger ships, known as New Panamax vessels, which can carry more cargo than ever before. The increase in cargo capacity has further boosted the canal's importance in global trade. Panama's management of the canal has been a success, ensuring its continued relevance in a rapidly evolving global economy. Modern challenges: expansion, water management, and El Niño. The Panama Canal, a crucial global trade route, is facing modern challenges, especially with water management. The canal relies heavily on fresh water from artificial lakes like Lake Gatun and Lake Alajuela. These lakes are essential for the canal's operation, as ships passing through the locks require millions of gallons of water to move between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. However, during droughts, water levels in these lakes drop, threatening the canal's ability to function. Any disruption in water supply could have severe consequences for international trade. To keep the canal running, each ship requires around 52 million gallons of fresh water. This water comes from rain that fills the lakes. However, much of this water flows back into the ocean after being used. Balancing the canal's needs with those of Panama's population, which relies on the same water sources for drinking, is a major challenge. Panama, despite being one of the wettest countries, faces issues when there are long periods of little rain. The situation is worsened by the El Niño weather phenomenon, which disrupts normal rainfall patterns. El Niño events cause unusually dry conditions in Panama, leading to significant shortages of rain. For example, in 2023, Panama experienced one of its driest periods, with October marking one of the driest months in its history. These weather patterns are particularly concerning because they can last anywhere from 9 to 12 months, and sometimes even longer. With climate change exacerbating these events, experts predict a 60% chance that the current El Niño could extend well into the following year. If this happens, Panama's crucial rainy season might not bring enough water to refill the lakes, leading to a potential water shortage. The canal's challenges go beyond just water supply. While the United States no longer controls the canal, it remains vital to American strategic interests, especially for the movement of military ships. The canal allows United States warships to move quickly between oceans without having to sail around the southern tip of South America. For Panama, the canal is not just an important trade route, but also a key economic asset. If the canal's operations are hindered by a lack of water, Panama's economy would suffer significantly. The combination of water scarcity, increased demand for fresh water, and the unpredictability of El Niño poses a serious threat to the canal's future. As the climate continues to change, the balance between maintaining the canal and ensuring Panama's water supply becomes even more critical. If these challenges are not addressed, both local residents and global trade could be heavily impacted. Deforestation and climate impact. The Panama Canal's water challenges are not just influenced by local weather patterns like El Niño, but also by deforestation, particularly in the Amazon rainforest. Although the Amazon is located far from Panama, it plays a crucial role in maintaining water levels in the region, including those that affect the canal. The Amazon rainforest helps regulate climate through a process called transpiration. Trees release water vapor into the atmosphere, which eventually forms clouds and brings rain to surrounding areas. This cycle is essential for keeping rainfall patterns steady across the region, including Panama. However, as deforestation in the Amazon increases, fewer trees are available to release this water vapor, leading to a disruption in rainfall. When the Amazon loses trees, it loses its ability to create enough moisture for rain. This impacts not only the rainforest itself, but also areas like Panama that depend on regular rainfall to replenish lakes and rivers. If deforestation continues, scientists warn that the Amazon could reach a tipping point where it can no longer sustain itself. Without enough trees, the forest may release more carbon dioxide than it absorbs, further weakening its ability to influence the climate. Data shows that some parts of the Amazon are already releasing more carbon dioxide than they capture, worsening global climate issues. This change impacts places like Panama, where stable rainfall is vital for maintaining the Panama Canal's operations. Without consistent rain, the canal faces water shortages, which could disrupt both local water supplies and international trade. The connection between the Amazon and Panama highlights how environmental changes in one part of the world can have far-reaching effects. Deforestation in the Amazon contributes to the overall reduction in rainfall, while also increasing carbon emissions, which accelerates global climate change. As a result, regions like Panama experience more severe droughts, which make it harder to sustain critical infrastructure like the canal. To reduce these risks, urgent action is needed to combat climate change and halt deforestation. Protecting the Amazon rainforest is not just about preserving biodiversity. It is also crucial for maintaining the global climate and ensuring that places like Panama can continue to rely on steady rainfall. Without efforts to curb deforestation and use water resources wisely, the Panama Canal may face greater challenges in the future, affecting both local and global economies. The drying Panama show interconnected the world's ecosystems are. Changes in one region, such as the deforestation of the Amazon, can have a domino effect, impacting climates and economies worldwide. Therefore, preserving the Amazon is critical, not only for its survival, but also for ensuring the long-term functionality of vital global trade routes. Global shipping disruptions and alternatives. The ongoing challenges at the Panama Canal have caused significant disruptions in global shipping. As water levels drop and capacity shrinks, the Panama Canal Authority has had to make tough decisions, such as reducing the number of ships allowed to pass through daily. Normally, around 36 ships navigate the canal each day, but this number has been cut to about 20. This decrease in traffic creates a bottleneck, forcing shipping companies to reconsider their strategies. For many companies, the slowdown means costly delays. Some vessels are forced to wait for weeks to pass through the canal, which disrupts schedules and reduces profits. Companies may also face the choice of paying a premium to move ahead in line, but this fast-track option is expensive and only viable for those with deep pockets. These delays and additional costs add up quickly, creating a ripple effect across industries that rely on timely deliveries. Faced with these difficulties, some shipping companies have started seeking alternatives to the Panama Canal. One option is to take a longer route, such as passing through the Strait of Magellan or navigating around Cape Horn at the southern tip of South America. While these routes avoid the congestion, they are longer and more challenging, adding extra days or even weeks to the journey. This, in turn, drives up fuel and labor costs, further straining shipping companies. The timing of this crisis couldn't be worse for the global shipping industry. In addition to the Panama Canal issues, security concerns in the Red Sea have disrupted another key trade route. Recent attacks on ships in the Red Sea have made the area risky for businesses, leading many to avoid the Suez Canal, which is a crucial passage between Europe and Asia. With both the Panama and Suez Canals facing difficulties, global trade routes are under immense pressure. These combined disruptions have far-reaching consequences. Delays in the supply chain make it harder for goods to reach their destinations on time, which could lead to shortages and price increases for consumers. The shipping crisis also adds to inflation concerns as governments struggle to manage rising costs in the face of supply chain disruptions. The situation at the Panama Canal is especially concerning for safety reasons. With fewer ships able to pass through daily, many vessels are left waiting for extended periods, often in busy or risky waters. This increases the likelihood of accidents or other complications, further impacting the already strained shipping industry. The challenges at the Panama Canal, coupled with security risks in other major trade routes, have created a perfect storm for global shipping. Companies are left grappling with higher costs, delays, and longer routes, all of which contribute to disruptions in supply chains worldwide. As the congestion continues to build, both businesses and consumers may feel the financial effects in the form of higher prices and slower delivery times. The global trade network remains vulnerable, and the current situation highlights the importance of finding sustainable solutions to these challenges. Proposed solutions and their drawbacks. To address the water shortage threatening the Panama Canal, several solutions have been proposed, but each comes with challenges. One idea is to add seawater to Gatun Lake, which supplies the canal with fresh water. While this might help the canal operate, it could put Panama's drinking water at risk, as the lake is a major source for the local population. Introducing saltwater could degrade the water quality, impacting the health and daily lives of Panamanians. Another suggestion is to divert rivers to increase water flow into the canal. Although this might ease the water scarcity issue, it could result in serious ecological and social problems. Changing the course of rivers can disrupt natural ecosystems, harm wildlife, and affect indigenous communities who rely on these rivers for their cultural practices and livelihoods. These groups depend on the rivers for food, water, and even spiritual traditions, so altering the landscape could have long-lasting negative effects. Even if the water shortage is resolved, experts argue that this solution won't address the underlying problems. The broader issue is tied to climate change and deforestation, particularly in the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon plays a critical role in regulating weather patterns across the region, including Panama. As more trees are cut down, the ability of the rainforest to produce rainfall and maintain climate stability weakens. This destruction contributes to water scarcity and global climate instability, making it harder to solve issues like the Panama Canal's water supply. For the canal's long-term survival, protecting the Amazon rainforest and addressing climate change are essential steps. The ongoing deforestation in the Amazon has ripple effects far beyond South America, impacting the entire planet's climate systems. Without serious efforts to curb deforestation and restore damaged areas, the challenges posed by water shortages and extreme weather events will only grow. Despite increasing awareness of these problems, only a few South American countries are taking deforestation seriously. Governments and organizations have started to introduce conservation practices, but progress is slow. More cooperation between nations is needed to share knowledge, resources, and strategies that can reduce deforestation. Conservation efforts are not only crucial for the Amazon's health, but also for stabilizing the climate, which is vital for global trade routes like the Panama Canal. The United States, as a key player in international trade, has been urged to take a more active role in supporting these efforts. Since the Panama Canal is essential for the global economy, with many United States imports and exports passing through it, the country has a vested interest in helping to protect the Amazon and combat deforestation. Greater international cooperation, backed by economic incentives and sustainable practices, could help preserve these critical ecosystems and ensure the continued function of the Panama Canal. While short-term fixes like adding seawater or diverting rivers may offer temporary relief, addressing the root causes, deforestation and climate change, will be key to ensuring long-term solutions for the Panama Canal and beyond. Balancing development, conservation, and future outlook. Balancing the water needs of the Panama Canal with those of Panama's people is a complex issue. One proposed solution is to build a new reservoir along the Indio River. This project aims to boost the canal's water supply and overall capacity. However, it comes with a high cost of around $900 million. Additionally, this solution may have significant environmental and social impacts. For example, constructing the reservoir could disturb local ecosystems and might require using protected lands, potentially displacing nearby communities. It's crucial to carefully weigh these factors to avoid harming the environment or displacing people. The Panama Canal is vital to Panama's economy. In 2022, it generated more than $32 billion, playing a significant role in the country's GDP. Yet, the canal's ongoing operational issues put this economic success at risk. The canal's declining condition threatens its ability to support both global trade and local livelihoods. Finding a balanced approach that addresses both environmental and social concerns is essential to ensure the future of this key global route. The Panama Canal, an engineering marvel from over a century ago, was not designed to cope with today's extreme weather changes. When it was built, the impact of climate change was not a concern. The canal relies heavily on water, and recent years have seen a significant drop in rainfall, which is needed to refill the lakes that support the canal. Water levels have fallen by about 3 meters below normal. This drop not only affects canal operations, but also impacts Panama's economy and global trade. The challenges facing the Panama Canal illustrate how interconnected our world is, both environmentally and economically. The canal's water issues highlight the need for solutions that address immediate concerns while considering long-term sustainability. As the canal struggles with these issues, it's crucial to balance economic priorities with environmental protection. The ongoing problems at the canal underscore the importance of creating plans that address both current needs and future sustainability to support this crucial piece of global infrastructure. Mexico's Interoceanic Corridor Project. As the Panama Canal grapples with its water crisis, Mexico has seized an opportunity to revitalize its own century-old trade route. The Mexican government has committed over $4.5 billion to breathe new life into a railway line that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans across the country's southern region. This ambitious project, known as the Interoceanic Corridor of the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, aims to enhance Mexico's role in global commerce. The corridor spans 300 kilometers through southern Mexico, utilizing existing historic rail tracks while also developing new infrastructure. The project's scope extends beyond just upgrading the railway. It includes the construction of new roads, airports, and industrial parks at key points along the route. This comprehensive approach is designed to stimulate economic growth in southern Mexico while offering an alternative to the Panama Canal for some shipping routes. The railway was officially opened in 1907 and initially saw significant success. In its first 6 years of operation, it transported over 850,000 tons of cargo between the two oceans. This success brought economic prosperity to the surrounding regions, transforming small villages into thriving economic centers. However, the corridor's popularity declined dramatically with the outbreak of civil war in Mexico and the subsequent opening of the Panama Canal. Ships began to prefer the Panama route due to its perceived safety and efficiency, leading to a sharp decrease in traffic on the Mexican railway. Now, more than a century later, Mexico sees an opportunity to revive this historic route. The current plan envisions a seamless transition from ship to rail and back to ship, potentially offering a viable alternative for some shipping routes. While Mexican officials stress that they're not trying to compete directly with the Panama Canal during its water crisis, the timing of this project is significant. It offers a potential backup option for some shipping companies facing delays or restrictions at the Panama Canal. The revival of this corridor represents Mexico's ambition to play a larger role in global trade. By leveraging its geographic position between two oceans, Mexico aims to create new economic opportunities and potentially reshape some international shipping routes. As this project progresses, it will be interesting to see how it impacts regional trade patterns and whether it can establish itself as a complementary option to the Panama Canal in the global shipping network. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.